Hello everyone. This week's manner of death is undetermined and homicide. East Park Joan Doe. In July of 2020, two hunters in Ashland, Kentucky found a shallow grave. The remains were that of a young man and were severely decomposed. Toxicology showed that he had drugs in his system shortly before he died. He was shot to death. East Park is located in Boyd County, Kentucky, and is part of an industrial area. There are some secluded lots of land where people can hang out or park their cars overnight. So far, the police have had little luck in finding the identity of East Park Joan Doe or who his killer is. They have not used forensic genealogy yet, but they have partnered with Othram Labs and have set up a crowdfunding page for him. If you'd like to donate, I'll leave the link in the description. If you have any information about East Park Joan Doe, you can contact the detective working the case at 609-928-6421. Haywood County, Joan Doe. In 2004, the body of a man was found off Exit 7, eastbound I-40 in Haywood County, North Carolina. He's described as a Caucasian with black hair, brown eyes, along with facial hair including a mustache and a goatee. He was 6'1" and approximately 123 pounds. It is estimated his age was 25 to 40 years old. The reason for his death was undetermined, but because of his location and some injuries, it is consistent with being hit by a car. He was estimated to have been dead for less than 24 hours, but even with that small time frame, no one came forward to identify him. The North Carolina Unidentified Project partnered with Othram and have set up a donation page for this Joan Doe. I'll link it so you can donate if you'd like. If you have any information about this man's identity, you can contact the Haywood Sheriff's Office at 828-452-6768. Cowlitz County, Joan Doe. In February of 2020, skeletal remains were found in some blackberry bushes near the Weyerhaeuser Dock in Longview, Washington. It is thought that the remains belonged to a Caucasian or Hispanic male. In 2021, the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Department partnered with Othram Labs to use DNA technology to identify this Joan Doe. They have set up a crowdfunding page to pay for his lab bills, and you can donate to it if you'd like. If you have information about this Joan Doe, you can contact the detective working this case at the Cowlitz Sheriff's Office at 360-577-3092. Dixie County, Baby Doe, also known as Little Dixie Doe. In February of 1990, the remains of a female newborn were found in a wooded region of Dixie County, Florida. She was thought to have been born alive. She was given the name Little Dixie Doe. An autopsy found that the cause of death was blunt force trauma, meaning her manner of death was a homicide. Over the years, her remains have been exhumed to attempt to get DNA samples. In 2019, an attempt was successful, but there was no match in any database. In 2022, Dixie County Sheriff's Department partnered with Othram to use their DNA technology to identify Little Dixie Doe. A donation page has been set up to pay for the costs, and you can donate to her case. If you have information of who Little Dixie Doe is or what happened to her, you can contact the Dixie County Sheriff's Office at 352-681-3107. Baby Joan Doe. Baby Joan Doe was found deceased in a grocery bag hanging on a fence at the 5000 block of Line Circle South in Warren, Michigan, in April of 1999. She was thought to be Caucasian with dark hair. It was revealed that she had died of asphyxiation and was the victim of homicide. Since then, there have been leads to her identity, but none of them revealed who she was. In 2022, the Warren Police Department partnered with Othram Labs to perform DNA testing on baby Joan Doe. They have set up a crowdfunding page for her on the website, and you can donate there if you'd like. If you have any information about her case, please contact the Warren Police Department at 586-574-4700. I'd just like to note that these last two cases of baby does are just extremely tragic and horrible, considering they both had a really good chance at life and that it was taken from them. Will County Joan Doe. In October of 2008, a man was found hanging from a tree at the Thorn Creek Nature Preserve in Park Forest, Illinois. It is a wooded area in the region of Western Avenue. The man became known as the Hanging Man. He was found wearing khaki pants, shirt sleeve button down, striped shirt, size 13 State Street brown loafers. There is also a gray bag nearby with a lighter with the words Poland on it and a Polish flag. The man was said to be 50 to 60 years of age, 6'3" to 6'5", and had sandy brown hair that was graying. He also had a lot of dental work done and had nicotine in his system. In 2021, the Will County Coroner's Office partnered with Autham Labs to perform advanced DNA tests to discover his identity. If you have any information about this Joan Doe's case, you can contact the Will County Coroner's Office at 815-727-8455. Will County Jane Doe. In May of 1997, skeletal remains were found in a debris pile of the Rust Craft Greeting Card Company building in Joliet, Illinois. It was abandoned after a fire in 1992 and afterwards was demolished. It used to be known as a place for the homeless to squat at and was a high-crime area. Only some of the remains were found, but we know that they belonged to a female who was 15 to 24 years old and was anywhere from 5 foot to 5'10". Nothing else, including the cause of death, was discovered. Isotope analysis was performed, and it revealed that she may have been from the Northern Rockies. In 2022, the Will County Coroner's Office partnered with Autham Labs to use advanced DNA technology to finally identify this Jane Doe. There is a page set up for Jane Doe, and you can donate if you want. If you have any information about this case, please contact the Will County Coroner's Office at 815-727-8455. Fairfax County Jane Doe. In December of 1993, some landscapers were working in Centerville, Virginia, and they found skeletal remains of a woman in a shallow grave. She was discovered with various objects and clothing which could be used to help identify her. It is thought the woman was Caucasian and had been dead for several years. She was probably between 27 to 34 years of age and was 5 foot to 5'3". Her hair was a dark blonde color, and she had pretty bad dental health, as they were very decayed. Another significant injury was herniated discs in her back. For several decades, detectives have tried to identify her, but their leads went cold. In 2022, Fairfax County Police Department partnered with Autham Labs to perform advanced DNA technology. She is the latest page to be added to their crowdfunding cases and needs donations to help pay for the costs for the DNA testing. If you can please consider donating to her case or any of the others at DNAsolves.com. If you have any information about this Jane Doe case, you can contact the Fairfax County Police Department at 703-246-7511. Tempe Girl. On April 27, 2002, the remains of a woman were found behind a business on East University Drive in Tempe, Arizona. She is thought to be a teenager of 15 to 19 years of age and may be of Hispanic or Native American heritage. She was 5'1" and weighed around 125 pounds. She had long dark hair and brown eyes. She also had noticeable scars on her left hand and shoulder. The clothing she was found with was blue jeans, a red tank top, and black wedges, size 6.5. She also had a purple bracelet on and purple nail polish. She was noticed to have hitchhiked the day before in Phoenix, Arizona. A witness said that she spoke Spanish and had talked about drug use, which makes sense since she had died of a cocaine overdose. Unfortunately, her identity has not been found 2 decades later, but her case is being handled by Doe Project, which is a nonprofit that uses genetic genealogy to find the identity of the unidentified. She currently has a page on their crowdfunding page and needs more donations to reach her goal for lab costs. Please donate to her case if you are interested. Also, if you have any information about her case, you can contact the Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office at 602-506-3322. Downtown Phoenix Joan Doe. On the morning of October 19, 2004, the remains of a Caucasian male were found in the downtown area of Phoenix, Arizona, specifically the region of Central Avenue and West Monroe Street. It is thought from his injuries that the man might have fallen or jumped from a building, but is not known for sure. He was thought to be between 40 to 60 years of age, 5'7", and was around 145 pounds. He had blue eyes, gray hair, and had missing teeth. He might have walked with a limp due to an ankle implant. The clothing he had on was size 32 by 34, green Levi's jeans, and a black belt. It's been 18 years since his death, and there has been no luck in identifying him. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office partnered with the Doe Project, who currently have a crowdfunding page dedicated to his case. If you want, you can go donate to his case. If you have any information about this Joan Doe, you can contact the Maricopa Medical Examiner's Office at 602-506-2083. Franklin County Joan Doe. On May 30th, 2007, a fisherman on the Scioto River discovered the remains of a Caucasian or Hispanic male. This region of the river was close to the Dublin Road water treatment plant near downtown Columbus, Ohio. It's thought he could have been in the water from a few days to a few weeks before being found. He was between 25 to 40 years old, 5'7" to 5'10", and weighed 125 to 145 pounds. He had black hair and a 1-inch scar on his forehead. He had no dental work or surgeries that could be determined. The clothing he was wearing was a gray Career Club long-sleeve button-up shirt, tan LLB bean pants, and a woman's size 8, and one brown shoe, size 10. His manner of death was undetermined because he didn't have any injuries, so he could have accidentally drowned or perhaps was a victim of suicide. With no leads on his identity, the Franklin County Coroner's Office partnered with Doe Project to perform genetic genealogy. Currently, this Joan Doe is featured on their crowdfunding page as needing more donations. If you would like to, please consider donating to his case. If you have any information about Franklin County Joan Doe, please contact the Franklin County Coroner's Office at 614-525-5290. Franklin County Joan Doe. There's another Joan Doe in Franklin County that needs his identity discovered. On March 30th of 2006, partially skeletal remains of an adult male was found draped over a tree trunk in the Scioto River in Columbus, Ohio. The manner of death for this Joan Doe was also undetermined. He was thought to have died several months before. The man was described as Caucasian, 30 to 50 years old, 5'5" to 6 foot tall, and 100 to 120 pounds. He had brown hair and a mustache. The only clothing that's been reported to be found with him was a pair of white Converse socks. The Franklin County Coroner's Office also is handling this case and partnered with the Doe Project. He is featured on the crowdfunding page, and if you'd like, please consider donating to his case. If you have any information about this Joan Doe's case, please contact the Franklin County Coroner's Office at 614-525-5290. Hi everyone, thanks for listening to this episode. I hope everyone is able to go to these pages and see more information about these cases and donate if you would like. I really think they need more attention and they really need to have their names found. Thanks for everything. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.